Welcome back. This is Monterey County Open for Business. It's a great way to learn what's going on in your neighborhood, in the county. Lots of things going on. Just pay attention. And if you want to get involved, tons to get involved with, which you'll find out from each show that we have. But I have one of my favorite people here, somebody that's helped me a lot, and somebody who I think really gives true meaning to the wellcation part of this county. So, Trudy McCrone, welcome.
Welcome, thank you.
So, you became a personal instructor, a personal trainer, instructor. Mm-hmm. How long ago in Pilates?
It's been about 3 years or so. I fell in love with Pilates, especially on the machines, and I'm like, you know what, I love this so much that I want to be able to share this with other people. And I found a program here in Monterey, and the rest is history. I started teaching like right away, so I'm really happy with that decision.
So you're at I forget what it's called, Monterey Pilates?
Pilates Monterey.
Okay, so I should know. I go there twice a week, but Pilates Monterey, and it's on Hartnell Street.
Yes.
Next to the post office.
Yes, it's literally right there on the corner of Hartnell and the alleyway down into Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of people probably are so focused on either coming in or out of that alleyway they don't notice it, but it's...
Yes, yes.
I watch people, they're so crazy, trying to jockey around to park right in front of the post office. I'm like, go down like 8 places, and there's parking right in front of Pilates.
It's a busy street, which is good because then we also get some walk-ins. And so that's nice exposure for the studio there. But yes, it can be a little crazy with that driveway.
So typically, how do you find your clients?
Well, what's great about working out of Pilates Monterey is that we get a lot of inquiries, which the studio owner fills to the instructors. So that's usually how I get a lot of my private clients.
Okay.
I do teach at other studios, and I teach mostly like group reformer classes, and they come through, for instance, OFB Studios is not just a Pilates studio, it's Pilates and Yoga and bar. And, you know, people will walk in and they're like, oh, what are those machines? And then they want to end up trying it, and then hopefully I make them fall in love with it, just like I did, and then they become my clients.
So just recently, you kind of expanded your world, and you also became a certified yoga instructor.
Yes, correct, which was amazing. I've done yoga off and on for probably about 10 years, and I never really connected to it. And then I found Pilates, and then I immediately fell in love with it. And then after teaching Pilates for about 2 years or so, I was like, you know what, I want to expand my knowledge. I want to get more into the mind-body connection. I want to learn more about the anatomy, you know, and it just helps to just keep learning. And again, I found a program here locally through OFB Studios and the outline, and I met with the teachers, and I was like, this sounds like something that I'd be really interested in. So I finished that in the beginning of this year, March, and it's such an amazing experience. Even if you don't want to be a yoga instructor, I highly recommend going to a teacher training. You just are so immersed in the culture of yoga, which, you know, has so much history. It's just so many levels of yoga. It's just great.
So now and you're doing yoga at OFB.
Yes.
And OFB is on, what is the name of that street there?
Well, there's 2 studios. There's OFB and in Monterey, which is just off of Cass, kind of like in a little shopping section.
Is it off of Webster?
Yeah, Webster, like where Cass dumps right into Webster.
Okay.
And then there's also a studio in Carmel as well.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. I don't have a full-time on the schedule yoga class, but I do sub, and I do teach the community classes, which are on Sundays at 4, which is only $5 to the community. So it's a $5 drop-in.
So $5 on Sunday, is it?
Yeah, Sunday at 4, and then there is another community class at the Carmel studio on Mondays at noon, $5 drop-in.
Okay, that's a great deal.
Yes, it is.
So let's talk about Pilates just a minute, because I find, not that I'm older, my balance was off. I was gaining way too much weight, and as my daughter said to me one day, you're not really fat, you're just flabby. So Hey, I take it. So I think working on your core just really makes you feel so much better and prepares you. Of the days that I am with you in the morning, I feel better all day. I feel like I'm more in charge of my body and what I'm doing.
Yes, yes. Well, it's just more body awareness, really, in terms of how your posture is. So many of us, I don't know when this happened, but our species just kind of stopped using the core. And so our movements are really lazy, and we just don't want to use our core muscles. And really, those are the muscles where all of our other movement originates from. So Joseph Pilates, that was his main thing. You have to strengthen your inner unit, your core, to strengthen your outer unit and be able to use your outer unit effectively. And then, that all also ties into breathing. Again, we're very lazy with our breath. It's just real quick, in and out. But, so much comes from the breath. Just that, mind-body connection and just being more aware of yourself and your body. So it's all tied in.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold this up. So Trudy is doing a free
Yes,
to
it's
the
free.
public on June the 10th. Do you want to talk about that a minute? It's down
Sure.
at the Presidio Park, which we've actually talked about a couple times here.
Yes, this is actually the second one. We did one last year, and it was pretty successful. We taught 2 Pilates classes last year for free. This year, it's going to be a little bit different. We're doing 1 half-hour Pilates mat class and 1 half-hour yoga class, which is going to be taught by Lindsay, who is the owner of OFB Studios. So it's going to be a little bit different. We also have a raffle, so you can win 3 private sessions with me, a couple of varying different types of memberships at OFB Studios, and then Lululemon, which has their showroom up on Cass. And for those of you not familiar, Lululemon has incredibly cute athleisure wear. And they are providing a mat and a water bottle for the raffle. And then you will have Spice It Up food truck that will be providing food for purchase.
So the yoga and Pilates is 11:30 to 1:30?
I believe Pilates is at 12, and then yoga I think is at like 12:45.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So on June 10th?
Yes, on June 10th, Saturday,
Okay.
June 10th. Yes.
Okay. So if people are interested, do they sign up any place in advance, or they just show up?
Just show up.
And they should bring a mat?
A mat and a towel, or we'll probably have a tarp down on the grass just in case it's wet. But it's just good. If you have a mat, great. If you don't, just bring like a thick beach towel or, blanket or something like that.
Well, Hal and I are in a partnership on some property in Kauai, and for years when I would go there, when I was actually doing Pilates pretty regularly, combination of Pilates and yoga, the Sheraton on the beach in Kauai used to have just a drop-in at 7 o'clock in the morning for 1 hour, and it was like a minimal fee. And it's a funny story. So I said, okay, I'm going to go. And I convinced my husband to go with me. And he went only, I think, because he thought I wouldn't go if he didn't go. So he went along with me. And the next day, he was like, wow, I had no idea I worked so many different muscles in different places in my body. And,
Oh, yeah.
And he's in good shape. He just said, I had no idea. He kind of poo-pooed yoga in the past, but it made him kind of a believer. So.
Oh yeah. Still now, when I take a yoga class, I'm incredibly humbled by the strength that it requires, and I think a lot of what is part of that is not only your physical strength, but your mental strength. Because you're in these poses and you're like, oh my God, this is so painful. How long is she going to make me stay in this pose? But really, it's being able to get out of your mind and more into what's going on in your body and your breath and just focusing. It's really interesting, the difference and yet similarities between Pilates and yoga. Like, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I think they complement each other really well. I actually recently read this article where someone said Pilates strengthens you from the inside out and yoga strengthens you from the outside in. And I think that that's just such a great like marriage of the two to be strong in both areas.
Yeah, it makes sense. And
Yeah.
that is an actual nice way to
Yes,
put it.
I was
Yeah.
like, yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, there are a lot of places around here where you can do yoga, particularly, and Pilates a little less, probably because of the equipment
Yes.
that's required. But if someone doesn't have access to the reformer and the Pilates equipment, there are some mat Pilates exercises they can do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think there's like at the sports center, and I teach one at OHM. It's a Pilates mat sculpt class. It's basically all the exercises are done on the floor. Again, it's very centered around the core, so you're doing a lot of core work, which is really hard. So I think that that's why mat Pilates has kind of gotten a bad rap because no one wants to do it. But it's actually really great complement to doing the machines because you are using your core so much more, and you're so much more aware of it. And it also helps you to be more aware of your posture too, because there's so much, your posture is just important for the core, especially the lower back.
No, that I totally understand. So
Yeah.
if you were to give advice of somebody starting, would it be better to start with yoga or start with Pilates, or is it what they want to?
I guess it's kind of, it depends on what it is that they're looking for. If it's more of a like mind, body, like more of a restorative thing that they're looking for, I'd probably say, go through yoga maybe first. If they're looking to maybe become stronger and leaner and a little more balanced in terms of, not mind, body, but in terms of just being able to, hold yourself up, I would say maybe Pilates.
Okay.
But, you really can't go wrong with either one. So
Okay.
It's hard to say, do this or that. You kind of have to go with your gut.
Well, I know when I started, and I owed it to Lori Benak, who was opening a facility down at Del Monte Center at the time, which is not there anymore, but I owed it to her. I was a banker. She came in. She was talking about accounts and things, and I was like, I guess maybe if she's going to be my client, I should go be her client. But I'm not a joiner. I'm not a gym person, as you know. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But she graciously hooked me up with Jolie Kabrinsky, who has a lot the same personality you have that works for me. Because for me, it's kind of like, if I don't like you, I'm not coming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's why I teach Pilates. I came to Pilates. I'm like, oh, I love this. And so I kept going, which is what's important. You want to find something that you love that you can commit and be consistent with, because that's going to make all the difference.
Well, you also have to like the person you're going to spend an hour with.
Oh, yes. That's true. That's true.
But Jolie was fabulous, and she really kind of wrapped my head around the fact that, exercise is pretty good for you, and it really does make a difference in how you do everything else throughout the day.
Oh, yeah, especially in today's society where so many people are at the desk and they're sitting all day long, or they're driving from here to there, and you don't think about how that is affecting your body until much later when you have all this neck pain or tightness in the shoulders or pain in the lower back or your hips. It's all connected. So if you're spending the time to become more aware of your body and learning how to use it, correctly, that's going to help you in the long run. So, yes, definitely.
So, are there any programs? I know Community Hospital has them, and I think Salinas Valley Memorial. But are there private programs for people, myself, who are aging, who haven't exactly kept up with what they should, and need to really understand more so that we don't fall and break our hips and do crazy things to ourselves? Are there any specific programs around? Is anybody developing them?
I don't know anything like that off the top of my head.
I think we're a market untapped.
Definitely. Well, it's also just about getting the word of Pilates out, because people still don't quite understand what it is. they kind of do confuse it with yoga. But I know personally I'm involved with the Peninsula Pilates Project, and that helps with, that's a nonprofit which provides no to little cost for breast cancer survivors, Parkinson's disease, and any other kind of debilitating illness, which it's just so important to make sure that people, because Andrea, who's the owner of Pilates Monterey, first started this because she had someone that came to her who had just gone through surgery for breast cancer, and there was nothing out there in literature that basically told her how to, rehab. And the doctors didn't provide her with anything. So Andrea, she really had to do her research, and she studied with Sherry Betts and created this program. And it's been so amazing to see people come in and get stronger and feel great. And they come in, and I have this group of ladies who've been coming for probably over a year or so, and they're like best friends. And it's just, and they know all the doctors, and they go through, all these things together, and then they leave feeling great because they've worked out their body, and they're getting strong, and
they're healing in more ways than just recovering from the cancer surgery.
Yes, definitely.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And how do people find that? Do they come to?
Yeah, if you go to the pilatesmonterey.com. And there's a little section there, or tab on the website that will say Peninsula Pilates Project. Okay. And like I said, it's a nonprofit, so we're paid through donations. And we have a fundraiser at least once a year. I think our next one is in September. But I can't sing its praises enough. It's amazing to see people come through that and just find, strength on mind and body.
I love that. I love that. So,
yeah.
Trudy, thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Well, people need to understand this, and they need to, I think, not only just know that it's a way of doing business, which you've made it into a business, but also that there are these fabulous services and people like yourself around that can help the rest of us get better. So, thank you. Thank you. So this is Monterey County, open for business. Don't go away. We'll be back, and you're going to learn more about your county and your area. Thanks.